clear, but let me reiterate it. The cause of Palestine, justice and freedom for the Palestinian people, these questions will not go away. And those that are behind the walls of this embassy in their diplomatic cocoon need to understand that the people of Ireland stand firmly, steadfastly with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. This is a country that knows something about colonisation and occupation. This is a country that knows a lot about dispossession and injustice. This is the country that must take the lead in the struggle for justice for Palestine. There are no excuses, and there is nowhere to hide for the Irish political class. And we, as people who stand in solidarity with the Palestinian cause, need to build now like never before. We need to build a vigour and a demand from the grassroots up that our political system, that our leaders, many of them so-called leaders, do the right thing. I can't remember how many times I've stood on platforms and raised the issue of the trade agreement, the Euromed agreement between the EU and Israel. I don't know how many crowds we've stood in and reminded the system that there are sanctions, there are methods to punish a state that acts with impunity in the way that Israel does. They're the facts. That arrangement recognises and has provisions to punish breaches of international law, and yet the system refuses to act. In 2014, we did achieve something, and I'm here with other colleagues from the Dála. We did manage to get a unified voice in the Oireachtas for recognition of the Palestinian state. And that was a good achievement. But I am sorry to tell you that 3 years on, and despite appearing in the programme for government, that recognition has not yet been afforded. I want to tell you, friends, that as the first step, the first small step in our contribution to justice for Palestine, we must ensure that that recognition is afforded without any further delay. I think it was heartening to see the way in which people rallied to the cause of the Palestinian prisoners. I think it is a tribute to the memory of the people of Ireland and a stand against the very studied amnesia of the Irish political class that ordinary people understood that internment without trial and vicious regimes within the Israeli prison system had to be challenged and would be challenged. I think it's astonishing that when Gaza was being bombarded and when the last government were challenged on the floor of the Dála for their response to it, their first impulse was to warn Irish people to be careful in the region. Think about that. Not an impulse to stand up and defend defenceless people coming under the hail of that bombardment. No, to look first to what they understood to be their responsibility. Now, I'm all for keeping our citizens safe. That is a good thing in itself. But we understand, those of us gathered here, that our responsibilities are so much bigger and so much deeper than that. We're not spectators in this. We are stakeholders in this struggle. We are stakeholders. We have a direct vested interest in achieving statehood for the Palestinian people. To conclude, I'm going to acknowledge that in addition to Sligo and other counties, there's people here from Belfast. And Derry. And I'm sure any county that's left out, we apologise. We're very, very sorry.
Newry!
Newry, well, that's down or Armagh. I'm not getting into that. And as a Dublin woman, and we're joined by our MEP, Lynn Boylan, MEP for Dublin. As a Dubliner, my heart filled with pride when I saw the colours of Palestine over City Hall. And I know that we have members of City Council here. I see Micheál McDonald and Chris Andrews. I see John Lyons. There's probably more of you. And again, apologies for that. But I want to say to our city councillors across the board who made that happen, well done. That was a strong symbolic message. So Acuerda, we have much work to do. We need to build the pressure, apply the pressure, stand fast in solidarity and free Palestine!